Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sorry for being late. We just had a funny incident where I have like 50 tabs open and I was trying to figure out like where's the music coming from. so, so it took a little bit of time to figure out where it came from, but we figured it out. We have a very, very, very exciting day behind us, right? I think it's been like 24 hours since the official launch of the Chrysalis migration. And we are officially entering into a new era, and like the importance of this event cannot be overstated, right? There's just first of all, the significance of just migrating $6 billion worth of tokens to a new network, and the launch of this new network itself is just so damn exciting, right? Because essentially what we are launching is the best version of IOTA, the best possible version, right? We improved the cryptography, we improved the algorithms, we improved not just the core protocol, the libraries, the wallet, Firefly with the new wallet, documentation, exchange integration, everything is new. And we are launching a complete new version of IOTA, and we are launching it next week. Think about that. I know you guys always like to know when. Now we have a concrete date, right? Next week it's happening. Before we jump into that stuff, we have a very exciting show today. We have Charlie on the show. I'll get him onto the show very soon, and then we can walk through all of the migration stuff. Maybe something beforehand, right? The migration has officially started yesterday. That means that all of you from now on are able to migrate to the new network, but it's optional, right? You don't have to migrate. But already so far, I think over 110 TI have been migrated. So that's quite the achievement. Charlie, do you want to come onto the show? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect.
I was going to do like a big entrance, but it's a bit quick.
Oh, we can redo it if you want to.
Oh, cool. I've done it.
How are you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good. Like I've had a heavy period of work. I think my whole team has.
Yeah.
Working morning, evening, night, trying to get this out. But we're feeling good. Like we got Firefly into a really good state.
Right.
There are no problems that we're aware of in the app in terms of bugs or issues that would be problematic. We've got it into a state that is production ready, basically through over the last couple of months of beta testing, alpha testing, and it's just nice to see things progressing towards Chrysalis now. You see the status page and the transactions taking place. Like a lot of money has already been migrated, which is nice. It shows the confidence that people have in what we've built.
No, it's amazing, and it's an amazing achievement of the entire team to make this happen and make it happen on time, as was promised. So it's just crazy to think about this, right? Like sometimes it doesn't compute in our heads that we are writing software that is being utilized to transact and to migrate billions of dollars of value. So that's just like mind-boggling to think about. By the way, everybody's calling you Jesus in the comments.
Bless your sins. IOTA is the savior. I get been called Jesus a lot recently. My mate calls me Brixton Jesus because I'm from Brixton in London. I'll take it.
Yeah, no, like as we got closer to the timeline, it was kind of interesting to watch your sleep schedule.
Oh yeah.
It got later and later towards the end.
This always happens. Like when we have a big release, like I think I'm just naturally a night owl. I mean, you have these different categories of people depending on their sleep schedules. Some people wake up in the morning, they're alert and they get knackered by the end of the day. Some people are just wide awake at night, and obviously you have certain restrictions from society that most people are meant to pigeonhole themselves into. But I think as I'm working my entire time, you kind of gradually move into your natural rhythm, which is going to bed at about 4 a.m., 5 a.m., waking up each day.
Right. No, it was definitely a crunch. And I think even though we are pretty large as a team, right? 140 people, it's like 60, 70 desks at this point, maybe more. We're still sort of understaffed if you think about it, delivering such a huge project. And so like, congrats to the entire team for delivering this. Because it's beautiful in every single aspect, if you think about it. So it's really amazing. So let's maybe run through it.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Let me share my screen. One thing I wanted to show beforehand is actually this NFT here, because I think it's quite fitting to the theme. And by the way, the music that like I put my headphones on and there was music playing. I was like, where is this music? And it's actually from this NFT here, because it's constantly playing in the background. So this is basically the moment that we have right now. The moment that we've been waiting for. Why is my internet not working? For this Chrysalis launch.
Nice one. That.
It looks beautiful. It's like this microcosm underneath. So it's beautiful.
Crazy textures. I think there was there are various projects currently taking place in the IOTA community to build NFT marketplaces, and I think one of them decided to have a competition to launch. And so we've had loads of incredible art, which is nice. Like, obviously from the foundation's point of view, we have some incredible artists, and it seems like that has drawn a lot of talent in the community who themselves have been inspired by work of the likes of Sabri, Alexa, etc.
No, it's absolutely gorgeous. Really nice. And this is what the Firefly wallet will be there for, right? I'm certain that you can then display your NFT art in Firefly.
Yeah, once we have arrived at a standardized, like a standard for NFTs on IOTA, we haven't fully defined exactly how we're going to approach it. You have all sorts to play with. You have various other ecosystems who already have their NFT protocols, and so we can just come to the party slightly late and pick and choose what makes sense for the IOTA protocol, and we'll integrate whatever standard we arrive at into Firefly. So you'd be able to view your NFTs, whatever you own within Firefly, and see all of the sort of data that stipulates that you have ownership over that respective piece of art.
Yeah. No, exactly. And I wouldn't say that we're late. I think we're really right on time to work on digital assets to release that into the market. And
later, but not too late. Still,
no, absolutely. So this was the big event yesterday, right? The official start of the token migration. So maybe some context of what that means, right? And Charlie, please provide input as well from your side. As we said a few weeks ago, April 21st, which was yesterday, obviously, is the start of the token migration. April 28th is the start of the actual launch of the Chrysalis network. So that means that right now, all of you who want to migrate are basically burning your IOTA tokens in the current IOTA network. And these IOTA tokens during this 7-day period right now will then make up the genesis transaction of the new Chrysalis network. So every time you launch a distributed ledger network, you basically have a genesis, right? The original genesis of the IOTA network was from the crowd sale. Same with Ethereum, it was basically the crowd sale holders that made up this first creation, minting of tokens. And the same is going to be true with the launch of the Chrysalis network on the 28th, where we have this genesis transaction, which basically transfers all of the funds that were migrated to the rightful owners, and then the new network is launching. It's a pretty simple explanation, but it's a very complicated process because they're like every single migration needs to be fully verified, right? Because there cannot be any bugs, there cannot be any issues with that. And it also needs to be verified by the community, right? So all of you will be able to deploy nodes and will be able to verify every single migration transaction. There's an RFC for that, how it works. and also how you can set up your own node and so on.
Mm-hmm. So you're effectively, I mean, you've got two migration periods. Effectively, you've got the first one between now and the 28th, whereby what you're effectively doing is sending a standard transaction on IOTA 1.0 to an address that has been encoded for IOTA 1.0. So you generate an address that will be your address on Chrysalis that gets encoded into Trite. And then you send a transaction to that address, a very standard IOTA transaction. And then when we start the new network, the ledger state, the snapshot that's used to bootstrap that network will include all of the migrations that have happened. And then obviously when that network launches, it's done in such a way that your address on the new network is credited. And then from there on, there's quite an interesting process where you basically have people sending transactions on the old network and the new network verifying the integrity of those transactions, and then the nodes on the new network minting those funds effectively. It's an interesting process. Like this took back and forth of months and months between a lot of people across research and engineering. I think we arrived at something that would, disrupt things the least and retain a level of decentralization that you need in this sort of stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the amazing part about this, as you already mentioned, is like this really has the least, it's like the least disruptive way to launch a new network while still retaining the old network. And as we saw with some of the other claiming periods of the network, is that sometimes people forget about their tokens and get reminded in a few years, oh shit, I should do something with my IOTA tokens. So we also have to keep in mind that people will not be able to migrate over the next few weeks, will not be able to migrate over the next few months. So this migration setup really takes that into account as well, right? So all of you, even though the migration has started now already, and I can definitely recommend you guys to do the migration, as we will do live very soon. You will be able to migrate at any point in time afterwards. And it should be, as mentioned here, it's a fluid migration, so it's pretty automated and pretty straightforward overall. So let's maybe quickly talk about the different scenarios, right? When it comes to doing a token migration. There's right now 4 major ones. There's also some special ones with specific custodians, or if you just write down your seed on a piece of paper. But the 4 major ones are doing it with the Trinity desktop wallet, with the mobile wallet, having your tokens on exchanges, and doing it with the Ledger Nano. Maybe, Charlie, you want to guide us through?
Yeah. So maybe we can just go through them one by one. So I think for desktop users of Trinity, it's really easy. Typically, you'll have your backup somewhere, whether that's a seed, which is just a written string of characters, or your seed vault, which is a KDBX file, just a password encrypted file. So if you don't have your backup in Trinity, I mean, you should. That's pretty much one of being safe in crypto. You need to store a good set of backups to be able to restore your funds. If you don't, you can actually go into Trinity and export your seed or your seed vault. And we're actually going to be releasing a Trinity update in kind of the next, let's say, 48 hours, where after the migration period ends, we're going to change some things that allow you to enter the wallet, even though the network is still down. So basically, like, we're going to not maintain Trinity, but Trinity will work to allow you to export your seed if you need to. And then all you need to do once you have your backup at the seed or seed vault, then you import that into Firefly. And Firefly just takes care of everything. Like, it's a really simple process. I mean, from a technical point of view, it was very complex to cover every individual use case not every individual use case, every individual flow that came from the original IOTA. But from the user's point of view, it's extremely simple. Obviously, then there are other situations you might find yourself in. You may be on Trinity Mobile, and you're wondering, how am I going to export my seed? How am I going to import it into Firefly? And what we're currently recommending is that Trinity Mobile users just use the Firefly desktop version. If you have a computer available to you, then migrate through that to avoid disruption. Obviously, Firefly Mobile is going to take a little bit longer. I actually got some really nice designs through from the UX team today, UX and design team, with some nice animations seeing how
You want to
Firefly
leak
Mobile will
something?
look. I mean, we could. I wonder if we should save it, because you need to stock these up for future IOTA Talks.
Come on, let's do it. We need to build. We said this is a very special talk today.
That's true. You got to make it special. Let me open Slack and share the link with you.
But let's go through that.
Let's continue. So the exchange situation is quite easy. Like, tokens sit on exchange. Typically, that is just a number in a database, right? The exchange is actually just managing your funds in the background. So what they'll be doing is migrating themselves and migrating their holdings that relate to your funds. And so if you're on an exchange, you just leave it there, and they'll migrate. Some of them are going to be there at launch. So I think Bitfinex and Bitpanda will be there from day one. Some other ones.
I'll go through them afterwards.
Okay,
exchanges.
Good.
Yeah.
Cool. Then I guess, yeah. So for an exchange user, it's easy. Just leave it as is and wait. And then the final one is the Ledger Nano. So we have been developing the Ledger Nano integration in Firefly for a while. The app is all ready to go. So, the app on the device, on the actual ledger, that's all done. It was developed by a community member called Micro Engineer, that I'm sure many of you know, and he's done a brilliant job. When Ledger reviewed it, they found one minor issue, which was resolved in like an hour. So Thomas has done a brilliant job. But if you're a Ledger Nano user, then what we're currently advising is that you just wait. Like, we're gonna release a Firefly version with Ledger Nano support in the next 2 or 3 weeks. The Firefly team is going to take a little break, and then we're going to get back onto it. What we're currently saying is a couple of weeks after Chrysalis, it will be ready to go. Mainly because we want to test it properly. You don't want to rush these things. This is important. And typically, Ledger Nano users are, they're hodling. They've put their money on the ledger and they don't touch it for a while. So typically, people should be happy. But if you are concerned and you want to, have access to your token sooner, then we advise to move to a regular seed in Trinity before the 28th, or to send your funds to an exchange and hold them there until the migration completes.
Yeah, no, that sounds amazing. And just to repeat this, right? You can migrate at any point in time, even after the 28th and even after Chrysalis. So if you really dock your Ledger Nano into the woods and you don't want to get it out of the ground, don't worry, right? You can still migrate after Chrysalis. We will need to define a sort of grace period until when these fluid automated migrations can happen. But what we are really thinking about right now is how we can actually set up some more community governance. I think all of us really believe that these decentralized systems like IOTA need to be governed through a decentralized mechanism. So we are also thinking about how we can integrate that more into the protocol, so that all of you can decide what the grace period should be, can decide on other stuff as well, right? So this will also happen in the coming weeks. But as Charlie already said, right, it's very simple. I will do the migration very soon, live. Let's hope. I've never done it before, so let's hope it goes well. The one special case that I want to talk about here on the show in more detail is the exchange one, because I think that was also one that is either the most convenient for you, or also is one where you have the most questions. Basically, what we have been doing as the IOTA Foundation is we've been coordinating and working together with all of the major exchanges, and we got confirmation from pretty much all of them that they will be supporting Chrysalis one way or another, right, at launch or after, or shortly after launch. One thing that you have to keep in mind is that when you have tokens with the exchange, they will do everything for you, right? They will basically migrate their cold storage or their hot wallets through the same process. And then basically just transfer their cold storage from IOTA legacy tokens, if we can call them, to Chrysalis tokens, and they will do everything for you. The only thing that you have to keep in mind is that if an exchange does not support Chrysalis at launch, meaning on the 28th, deposits and withdrawals will not work. That's the only thing, right? Trading will still work. So it's not going to impact the IOTA market in any way. So everything will resume. Just the deposits and withdrawals will temporarily be disabled until the exchange fully supports Chrysalis, i.e. integrated the wallet, and until they migrated their funds. And we're talking about huge sums here, right? So it's quite something. The ones that are supporting at launch are Bitfinex and Bitpanda. There's also some custodians like Crypto Storage that are supporting the at launch. We are working very closely with Binance, and I think they're pretty close to completion with their integration. What they confirmed is that they will actually give the announcement after the network went live. So after the network is live, they will give a concrete date by when they will resume deposits and withdrawals. Until then, operations resume. Upbit, OKX, Huobi, Bittrex, Liquid, all of them know about this. I think Upbit, OKX, and Huobi are also working on it already. But I think they will support it shortly after Chrysalis is live, so most likely in May, right? And all of the other exchanges, they're looking at it. I'm sure they are aware of it. And it just depends on when they are able to support it, right? Support the development, because even though Chrysalis is integrating Chrysalis and integrating IOTA with Chrysalis is a much less effort than other DLTs and much less effort than the original IOTA implementation. These exchanges have their own cycles, and because we are in a bull market, everybody's super busy. But from the looks of it, I think it looks pretty good from the exchange support. So for all of you who were asking now, is like, damn, that sounds really great. Like, I want to migrate now. So here's a great tutorial that was actually made by our team, which should really guide you through the migration in very simple screenshots. And it's a 6-step process, right? You import your seed or your key vault into Firefly. You make sure that the balance is correct. You create a new password and a PIN for your wallet. You create a recovery phrase and Stronghold backup for your wallet. You initiate the automated migration process, and then you begin exploring Firefly, right? It's a 6-step process, very straightforward, and nothing too complicated. And maybe we should do it, unless you have anything else to add, Charlie.
I just wanted to check my mic volume. Do I sound louder now? Someone complaining that I was very quiet.
Oh, people always complain.
In a chat, can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if I sound good. If I don't, I'll increase my my volume a little bit.
I think it sounds fine, no?
I hope so. I mean, I've seen a few questions about a couple of things to do with Firefly in the chat. Maybe we can go through them at the end.
Yeah, or you want to do it now before we do it?
Yeah. So I mean, one that I might as well answer now regarding the audit, and then the others are sort of more specifics about the migrations, and maybe we can do those after you showed the basic flow.
Yeah.
But yeah, someone's asking if the audit report will be published. I believe we're going to publish this. We've had the results a few weeks ago, and we remediated the issues that they found. We implemented all of the changes, and then they reviewed the implementation that we then had fixed, and you know, gave the thumbs up that everything was good and ready to go. So yeah, we're planning to publish it, I believe. I'm not sure when in particular, but I guess the main thing to know is that it has been audited and that all of the findings have been remediated. So
yeah, there's an ambulance coming.
My bad, I'll close the door.
Any other questions in the comments?
I mean, they're kind of like particulars about the migration. So one person asked, how do you migrate more than one seed? So I guess the answer to that is that in Firefly, one profile represents one seed. So if you want to migrate another seed, you need to add another profile. And obviously that's very simple to do. You just log out of your current profile and click add profile, and then carry on with that flow. Someone was asking if we can migrate after quarter-side. So what we're currently advising is that you'll be able to migrate at least until quarter-side, because we need to devise the technical solution for thereafter. We're saying migrate before it, but we're going to try our best to basically, provide it after that point as well. But obviously, a lot of things are changing, and we'll need to assess nearer the time how we're able to support it.
I mean, the flow will be different, but you will still be able to migrate. It will just be a different flow then. Yeah, just to keep that in mind, right? Okay. Like you will still be able to migrate after quarter-side.
And then other than that, mainly questions about exchanges.
When are we gonna get on Coinbase? That's what somebody's asking. We don't know. Let's maybe go through it. So one thing to keep in mind, right? We are talking about you owning your wallet, you owning your seed, right? And as such, you have to make sure that you download the right wallet. So please only download the wallet that is offered on firefly.iota.org, right? That is offered by us or on GitHub, right, Charlie? Yeah.
Yeah, those are the two download points.
Yeah, exactly. So please make sure that you download the right wallet. You can also check the checksum afterwards. On this website, you will find some more instructions, but it looks absolutely beautiful, the website, and what Firefly is for and what it enables you to do. So I already got the wallet. Maybe should I do full screen? Is that better? Maybe we do it like this.
I mean, we're still working on the responsiveness of the app. It looks better at the default size, but you can increase it. It doesn't really matter too much. Maybe better for out.
Yeah, I think this background will look better. Cool. So I just downloaded the Firefly wallet. Can you all see it? Should I
make it a little bit bigger? Yeah.
Right. Can I do it like that? Okay. Let's walk through it. And by the way, here you can also check for updates, and there's also like a settings bar here. But I think that's less important for now. So maybe just download it and play around with it yourself. These are the terms of conditions. Make sure to read them, right? Then you have to choose the theme. I'm going to do the light theme because I think that looks better on the live stream. Maybe dark actually looks better. All right, people are already complaining, so I should do dark mode. That's funny. So let's create our profile. I'm going to do the Stronghold one. And now I have the choice, right? If you guys have a Trinity wallet, if you have an old wallet, you can now start the migration process. If you do not have one yet, don't worry. You can just create a new wallet completely. So you don't have, you're basically not doing the migration. Obviously, we are doing the migration, so let's choose this option. You have three options here for the migration, right? Either you have your seed written down somewhere, or you stored it somewhere. You did the backup from the Trinity wallet, or you have the recovery phrase. And
that's
from your
more
wallet.
For the future. So I mean, the two ones that are relevant to people who are actually migrating are the seed and the file backup. We've combined options for when you're restoring your Firefly wallet into this to simplify things, basically.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's going to do it either with the seed vault or by the seed. I'm going to do it with the seed vault today. I already prepared this. And by the way, I've never done the migration before, so we are doing this live. So if things break, we can complain to Charlie on the live stream.
Maybe it's worth full screening after all, to be honest. Because it is.
What do you mean screening afterwards?
Full screening. I mean, maybe it's just small for me because I'm not on YouTube. But
is it better like this?
I mean, it looks ugly, but it's fine.
I'm trying to like, does everybody see it well on the live stream? I think that's a yes.
Perfect from Lewens.
Perfect, looks great. All
yes,
right.
yes, looks good.
So full screen. You guys want full screen or this? I think this is just fine. No. All right. So now I have to get my password. And by the way, this is like a test account, so don't worry. There's no
the people want full screen. people want full screen.
Okay. Don't worry. I'll do full screen for you guys. By the way, the animations are really beautiful. Like our team did a wonderful job there.
This is Marcos and Igor. Marcos is the illustrator for the IOTA Foundation, and Igor is our motion designer. And so they've made
it's beautiful. You know, one
things.
thing that we should do, as we get closer with NFTs in a few weeks, we should really make like physical plushies. You know, like a real animal, like a plush. It's a plush.
Plush,
right?
Yeah. Plush. Beanie Babies, or like
exactly. Like we should make like NFTs out of them. Then we do like limited Firefly plushies edition. And then you can like verify with your wallet on your phone.
It's fucking sell them for awesome. £500,000 each.
All right, we're doing that. And just so you guys know, like these shirts, we just ordered a few thousand of them. So very soon, all of you will be able to get these shirts. And just last week, we started shipping the cofounder. So you guys should also have them. Hopefully mine will come soon, so I'll show it on the live stream as well. And I can actually put it on the on the back there. But back to the migration, right? Okay. So what does it do now, Charlie? Tell me. It's saying restoring wallet.
Well, so typically this should happen very quickly. This is querying the Tangle for your address history. So depending on how many transactions you sent historically on IOTA, it's going to try and pull in your full balance from all of those different addresses. And obviously, if you have a seed that you've used a hell of a lot, it's going to take longer.
Okay, got it. So basically, everything is in the wallet now. So let's continue. I have 19 MI. Very nice.
So there's a few things to mention here, I guess.
Yeah.
The main one is the check again. So some users will have a seed that you don't immediately find your full balance. You shouldn't worry. Like you just hit check again a few times, and then it will eventually find the full balance. And what you should do is only migrate once you've found the full balance, basically. But if you are someone who decided to go ahead anyway, despite not seeing the full balance and migrated, you can actually just enter the same seed again and migrate the remaining funds.
Nice.
There are a few, I'd say, edge cases on this point. One thing to be cognizant of is that in the Chrysalis network, we have dust protection, which means that you can't send a transaction bundle with less than one MIOTA in it. So if you have a hell of a lot of funds, or a hell of a lot of small funds distributed across a lot of addresses, you have like 10 IOTA on one address, you have 50 IOTA on another one, you will probably want to consolidate those into a singular address before you migrate, because we can't get all of the dust. Like obviously this is small amounts. This is less than like $2 total, but we advise that if you see a warning saying, some dust will be lost, then what you should do is put that seed in Trinity and consolidate your balance onto a singular address by sending a transaction with your full balance to one address. But I mean, most people won't see this. I think most people will see similar to what you're seeing.
Yeah. No, it's just perfect. All right, so let's hit continue. Okay, let me get a password now. I prepared all of this ahead of time because we're doing it live and I have to be prepared. Save password. PIN code. Okay, let's do it simple. What is the PIN for? Just random question. So
yeah, I mean, the PIN is basically just privacy. So what we've allowed is for you to have multiple profiles in your wallet, and you can actually log in and check your balance without ever decrypting your seed. So you're able
Right.
to go into the wallet, have a look at your recent transactions, have a look at your current balance. And that's not going to affect the security at all of your wallet. All it's going to do is it's a privacy block, basically. You don't want your housemate who you don't trust to
Right.
look at your transaction history, for example. And it's basically just that. Like the password is the thing that you need to be particularly safe with, because that's what basically would allow someone to send a transaction from your wallet. The PIN
So
code
sort of
is
like two-factor authentication, right? Sort of.
yeah.
Okay. So I can enter my PIN in the Firefly wallet just to see the transactions and show off my NFTs to my friends. But if I want to, actually transact, I need the password, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, random question, because how difficult is it actually to include biometrics then on mobile?
So this is something that we had in the designs. We made the sensible decision to not include every single feature that we wanted to
Right.
include, because the timelines obviously go on for a long time if you do that.
Yeah.
So biometrics on mobile will be there from launch. Like we'll make sure to include them, because obviously Face ID on Apple and
Right.
whatever Android uses is important to people.
Nice.
I'd love to have biometric on desktop as well, on Mac, and a lot of Macs have Touch ID now, and Windows as well. So it's on the feature list. It's something we'll add from desktop at some point.
Cool. That's perfect. All right. So back up your wallet.
Mm-hmm.
You will now be shown a recovery phrase. Maybe can you quickly explain the recovery phrase for those of you that don't know it yet?
So one of the nice things with Chrysalis is that we're subscribing to many of the industry standards, I would say, within the crypto space. And one of those is BIP 39, which is a Bitcoin improvement proposal, which basically made it much easier for humans to read their private key. So this is just your private key encoded in I was just thinking about this. You might have someone from the community writing this down, so you might want to move the funds away after the stream once the migration process is on the 28th. But the recovery kit phrase is basically just a human readable string that you write down, and if everything goes to shit, if you lose your digital backup, your Stronghold, you basically have this recovery phrase in order to recover your funds. So basically, you lose your digital backups, but you've written this down somewhere. You've stored it in a safe place, in a safe in your house or somewhere hidden that people aren't going to find. And then when you eventually have a situation where you can't find your digital backup, which is a possibility for everyone, files corrupt, you can then import your recovery phrase, and you'll always be able to get your balance through this string of words.
So basically, if wait, let me show my screen again. If
you can skip through this. Someone might steal it after the migration completes. But
also, I don't need to do this.
You do, but so there are two options here. You save the recovery kit template, which basically is a PDF you print, and then it gives you a nice format to write your phrase down. But obviously, if you hit continue, it will then ask you to verify the recovery phrase to make sure that you wrote it down correctly.
Got it. No, I just downloaded it. It looks actually nice. All right, I actually want to keep those 40 MI or whatever it was, 20 MI.
20 MI. What I would suggest is we hide the screen, you press continue, and then
continue. Oh shit. All right, I have a good idea. Maybe Charlie, you entertain us meanwhile.
Okay. Do a little song, a little dance.
Yeah, dude. It's like a break.
I think maybe I could talk about something in Firefly. So maybe I'll talk about the tech stack slightly. So I think anyone who's used Firefly will notice that it's incredibly snappy. You click onto the next page and it's just like that. Like every single page, there's no delay. And that is the result of the technical stack that we're using. So the vast majority of the wallet is written in Rust. We have various Rust libraries that we've built over the last year for Chrysalis, for the Chrysalis protocol, that do all sorts of different things. One of them is a wallet library, and Firefly uses that at the core. And because Rust is such a performant language, it means that that then translates into Firefly. So anything you do in the app is very quick and very snappy. And on the front end side, we're using a JavaScript framework called Svelte, which is also very performant as far as JavaScript goes. So what this basically has allowed is that all of the sort of business logic, all of the security important logic takes place on the Rust side, and all of the nice fancy design and user interface is in this JavaScript framework called Svelte. And I mean, comparatively to other JavaScript frameworks, it's like leagues ahead. Like I think it's only just sort of up and coming now, Svelte. Like everyone's still using React. But to me, React is just like boilerplate central. You have to write lines and lines of boilerplate code in order to do the same thing that in Svelte you can do in a single line of code. And then Svelte is more performant than React. So if you're building apps on IOTA, front-end apps, websites, whatever, mobile apps, anything, I'd fully recommend Svelte as an option there. How are we looking? We're through.
The commercial break is over.
Commercial break.
All right. So I safely entered my recovery phrase so that nobody can actually steal my funds. My 20 MI, my precious IOTA tokens.
You'll be rich someday.
Yeah, exactly. Going to be worth a lot. So I need to protect them. So now I have to back up the Stronghold file. I'll probably just skip that, right? But usually you guys should really make backups and store them safely.
Mm-hmm. I mean, so that a Stronghold backup is important. I guess the difference to a recovery phrase is that with a Stronghold, you have convenience, right? You can just drag and drop it into the wallet, type in your password, and you're in. Whereas with a recovery phrase, you have this monotonous process of typing all of the different words. And one thing we're advising in Firefly is what you need to kind of see it as is every time you back up a Stronghold, that is the point at which the data is saved. So in much the same way that you back up a hard drive, anytime you back up a Stronghold, that's your current state of play in terms of your transaction history and your accounts. So if you want to retain your entire transaction history, if you want to retain all the accounts you've created, you should make regular backups, because if you import a Stronghold from several weeks ago and you've done all kinds of stuff in between, then you're relying on the wallet querying the Tangle and that data still being available, which is not always the case because the nodes prune data. So we advise to make regular backups if you want to retain your entire transaction history. But obviously, whatever you do, you'll always have access to your funds and your balances.
Yeah, no, it's a very important point actually about the backups, and that it is more than just storing your seed safe. It's also like a convenience factor, because if you transact, if you have different accounts, savings accounts, and all of that, it really makes it possible for you to have the same transaction history, the same overview on your different wallets, mobile, desktop, and all of that, when mobile comes, obviously, right? So make sure to do backups.
Yeah, we'll improve this. Like, we have plans for things like cloud backup. So obviously some users would like that sort of convenience, so that you could, for example, hook in your iCloud and then it would back up your Stronghold there. And then obviously you have your iCloud password and your Stronghold password defending your funds, which, provided they're different passwords, is pretty good security, even though it's on the cloud. So we're going to improve all of these stuff gradually. So if there are any sort of areas where you kind of find Firefly is slightly lacking, like, we probably already have it covered. And if we don't, then open an issue on the GitHub with a suggested feature that you'd like to see.
Yeah, and by the way, this is a very important point. Like, Firefly is completely open source. All of you can look at the code on GitHub. I'll show it maybe real quick. All of you can look at it on GitHub here. and you can contribute, right? What's really amazing, by the way, and congrats to the IOTA community there. It's been translated into how many languages, Charlie? 20 something?
We've got about 24 at 100%, but there are more than that.
24
more
languages,
than that,
right?
Slightly less.
So the IOTA community, thank you everybody who helped there, translated the Firefly wallet into 24 languages, more than 24 languages.
I mean,
It's
these
simply
guys
amazing.
just dedicating their free time to improve the wallet, and like you'll have an individual who represents their particular language community. You know, they're a moderator on their respective language on Facebook for IOTA, or you know the Telegram group for a particular country, and then they're dedicating their free time to make sure that all of the people that they are helping out understand IOTA and adopt IOTA. They're making sure that the wallet makes sense. So it's beautiful. Like I love those guys who dedicate their time to this, because it helps us out a lot. And only those guys are truly going to understand everything in IOTA. So it's invaluable work, you know.
Totally. And that's what's beautiful about IOTA, right? We have an amazing community, all of you, who make this possible. And thank you everybody for translating and testing, right? That really amazing work. So tell me what's going to happen. Should I click on a button? Begin migration?
So when you hit begin migration, what happens here, as we mentioned earlier, is you're basically forming the bundles from your addresses. So you're encoding your new address, your Chrysalis address, into a way that you can send a transaction on the old IOTA network. And due to the way we've set everything up, when Chrysalis then starts, your funds will be available on your Chrysalis address. And I mean, it's a shame really, because there are some really nice alternative flows that like maybe 1% or less than 1% of users are going to see. You know, we had these one-time signatures in the original IOTA protocol, and obviously it's dangerous to spend more than once from these addresses. So there are some people who have spent addresses and they get to go through like a really nice process to secure those. But like 2,000 addresses or something in total. So probably like a very small proportion of users. But yeah, there you go, migration complete.
Yeah, but this was it, right? This was it. So we just did the migration. It was like a 6-step process. It took us, because we obviously talked a lot, but usually this should take you guys a couple of minutes. Firefly does all of the heavy lifting for you.
Max.
Yeah. If you click here, is it going to open a download window?
Yeah, so this will download
let me do it
a log file. This is basically just like a technical record of your migration, so that like if you were confused at the end of the process, like you could then come onto Discord and provide your log and be like, hey, look, here's my migrated funds, all of this kind of stuff. So it's just an audit log for you to retain personally. But there we go, you're in.
And now we are here, and now you can see this pop up here. Your funds will become available after Chrysalis on 28th of April. I can click on view status, and what that is going to do, it is going to get me to the status page. So now we did the full migration, we did the full flow, and this is it, right? It's super simple, and I really feel safe with it, right?
You're going to be one of those addresses in the addresses locked. One of those is Dom's 20 IOTA.
Really?
Contributing to the totals. Well, I mean, this is obviously a live view of the totals.
Oh yeah.
Currently migrated.
Yeah, so in total right now 124 Ti we're already migrated, and I think that's a total of like
$250 million. Yeah.
Yeah, $250 million. No, 300. Yeah, no, I think 300 million already within 24 hours, right? It's pretty amazing to think about. So a lot of money already went through it, and yeah. So this is the migration flow. I can really highly encourage all of you to do it. It's not that painful. It's very simple.
I mean, it all depends on individual personality, I guess. Some people do things as soon as the option is available. Some people leave them to the last minute. So I'm sure we'll see a gradual trickle from everyone depending on when they get around to it effectively.
Yeah, no, totally. And like there's really no rush, I would say. Yeah. No, it's amazing.
And then obviously they'll come available when the Chrysalis network update happens on the 28th of April, so in 6 days. And when we set up the new network, set up all of the endpoints, they're already hooked up to Firefly. So basically, as soon as the new network comes online and everything's ready to go, your funds will appear in your wallet, and then you'll be in the new era, the new dawn of IOTA with the Chrysalis network, and then you'll be able to experience just how electric fast the Chrysalis network is, how reliable it is. You'll be able to enjoy Firefly in a production mainnet setting, send money around between you and your friends, and you'll be like, wow, this confirms in less than 10 seconds. It sends in a couple of seconds, just ping, 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 all the money's going around, and everyone's going to be like, wow. I'm excited, man. It's, this so far isn't quite like the hard hitting bit, right? The bit that hits hard is when you can actually use Firefly and send funds around to your friends.
Yeah, exactly. Like yesterday was a super exciting day because we officially started the migration. I think next week will be an even more important day because then the network is going to launch, right? We have the genesis of Chrysalis, and we can finally enjoy Chrysalis and this new IOTA version in its full beauty with Firefly, with the Hornet release, B as well, all of the different libraries, Stronghold, and so on. So it will really unleash a new version of IOTA. And from every single exchange that we spoke with so far, they're truly amazed at how simple it is to utilize IOTA now, and also how amazing it is to develop on it. Right? We really took developer experience and ease of use into account, and obviously security. So this, I'm pumped for next week, and so yeah.
It's a complete overhaul of everything. From the basic protocol up through the libraries, up through the wallet, and kind of takes IOTA to this what we call enterprise readiness.
Right.
I mean, there are people waiting in the wings. Like obviously, if you're a business who wants to develop a use case on IOTA, for the last few months, obviously it's worthwhile doing some testing and some POCs and stuff like that. But you're not going to fully implement your solution until Chrysalis is ready, because why would you? It doesn't make business sense. So, I mean, I think Holger added me to a channel on Slack where they need more devs to help out with the sheer number of corporates who are going to be building their use cases on IOTA immediately after Chrysalis goes live.
Right. No, totally. It is a new dawn, right?
A new dawn.
It's the perfect motto for what we are doing, and more than a year of work went into all of this, and it's right in front of us. So it will be absolutely amazing.
And work from everyone, man.
Yeah.
Like across the whole foundation. Like people don't fully appreciate how many people, how many individual hours of work has gone into this, from the original conception to the establishing things that are all going to work from the research point of view, research, then coming to conclusions, formalizing specifications, passing those specifications onto the engineering team then implementing it, testing their solutions, making everything's okay from a protocol point of view, protocol team then passing it on to all of the libraries and the library teams developing the use cases, library teams then being ready to pass it on to the wallet team. Like it's a crazy amount of individual effort that has gone to bring this to where we're going to be.
Yeah, like the level of complexity of this, I think very few people really appreciate that or even can understand it, right? Because Firefly takes care of everything, and behind Firefly is really a solid infrastructure with the Hornet version, and also with B and all the tools and the libraries that enable this simplicity. It's just absolutely beautiful to think about that. And ultimately, we are migrating billions of dollars into a new network. So this bridge we're getting experienced bridge builders. So so that's really cool.
But how do you feel, man, as a board member, seeing all of this from the top, seeing all of these teams produce this? Like, how are you feeling about everything?
Yeah, it's really amazing to simply think about all of these amazingly talented people that we have in our foundation that truly care about IOTA, that truly care about realizing what was started, right, and realizing it with a newly developed, I would say, technical foundation for everything. And I think right now we have a really, really strong team and a really, really strong technical foundation, right? Like this is the best version of IOTA possible. And we're launching it next week. Complete overhaul of everything, and it's the best possible version of IOTA. And then the last remaining thing is to remove the coordinator, where we have the Nectar release coming up in a couple of weeks. So after Chrysalis is live, we have even more exciting stuff happening, right? So it's never ending. But it's truly an amazing achievement of the team, and everybody really deserves a break after this because, like we said before, this was definitely a big stretch. And even though we have a lot of people in the foundation, we're still understaffed in that regard. And we're obviously trying to achieve big things, and we are with amazing people. So yeah, it's amazing to work with all of you. So, and obviously the community, right? The community played a crucial role in all of this as well. In all of the testing,
translators, everything.
Translators, and giving feedback, giving input, making sure that we are on time. asking when.
Asking when. But I mean, okay, I think after Chrysalis, we'll probably get some breathing room, right? I think the community are going to be like, actually, this is really fucking cool. Like things are in such a good place. They'll see the state of the entire ecosystem, from the protocols, the libraries, the wallet, etc. All of the various corporates developing on IOTA, and everyone's going to be very comfortable and confident. And I mean, people will still ask when, of course, because it's a perennial question, right? But I think like we'll be in a situation where people will be happy waiting, because they'll be like, right, IOTA has finally delivered on all of its promises.
Right.
All of those big claims that IOTA has made historically, I can now see them, and I can see a clear roadmap and path to realizing each and every single one of those interesting use cases that we've discussed previously.
No, exactly. Like we're not just overhauling the entire protocol, right, or network stack and wallet stack, but we've overhauled the entire project. The vision still remains the same, but now we are much better positioned than ever before to realize it. So I think everybody is super confident in where we're heading and what we're doing, and I think more and more people, even critics, are really appreciating this new IOTA project. That
it takes a lot to break down the harsh exterior of critics. Like a lot of people are set in their ways, like, IOTA is a broken ternary hash function or something, from like comments that don't hold water anymore. And there is literally nothing that I think many critics of IOTA can say currently that isn't already being taken care of. So if community members come against that FUD, like they have an ace in their pocket for every single thing, which is a beautiful place to be, I think, and kind of testament to like how far we've come.
Yeah, no, we are amazingly positioned, right? And we have Nectar coming up. We have some special things coming up. So we are really poised.
Special things.
Yeah, so we are really well positioned to take on this market and to really show IOTA in its best possible version, and also get more people on board to join this journey that we're on, to build this machine economy, to decentralize into other things, and to really bring forth not just a distributed ledger protocol, but like a tech ecosystem, right? Think about all the amazing people that will be building applications on top of Firefly now, right? That will rely on this backbone, and so it's really all coming together. So I'm super pumped. Yeah,
watch the space.
Yeah, watch IOTA, right? Follow us.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Yeah, we're gonna do a lot of goodies, so these guys can wear them proudly. Cool. Do you have any closing remarks before we move?
Chrysalis. That's all I have. That's all I've got.
All right, we'll take that as a closing remark. By the way, one thing we should think about is what we're going to do next week. Next week for the oh, you want to show the mobile wallet? You want to show the previews?
Maybe we'll hold those for now. I think we want to make sure that the design team is comfortable sharing them.
No leaks.
Leaks soon, but we'll hold them for.
I think that's better. I think that's better. Yeah. No, thanks a lot for coming on to the show, Charlie, and thanks to the entire team for delivering this amazing progress with everything.
Amazing job from everyone.
Yeah. Amazing job to everybody. And to all of you who are watching, I hope that you feel comfortable doing the migration now as well. We did it live. We're also going to do it with our funds soon. So we are prepared, and I think it's really time to think about what all of you will be building on top of IOTA with Chrysalis, and we are prepared. Right, next week Wednesday is the go live. We're gonna have the genesis. We're gonna have a new network. We're gonna have the launch of a new dawn. And afterwards it's going to be sunny. Right. So thank you all for joining. Thank you, Charlie, for coming. And if you guys have any questions, if you need input with the migration and stuff, just always feel free to reach out to us on Discord. We are there to help. Make sure to not follow imposters. Never share your seat. Do not share your passwords, anything, right? Follow the official guides. Firefly will take care of the heavy lifting. And without further ado, happy migration and see you guys soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.